Okay, so this is where your stubbornness can come in really handy. We stubbornly choose to trust the Lord to do what He knows is best in every situation. We just stubbornly choose to trust the Lord to do what He knows is best in every situation. Of course, the verse that came to mind, Jeremiah 29:11, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." I've just stubbornly planted myself on the truth that God is good and He is mighty, and that is that. You know what I mean? Like, this is where I plant myself. I will not be shaken. I just stubbornly choose to believe that God is mighty, He is powerful, He is loving, and He is good, and that is that. Can I get an amen? Right? I mean, are you just stubbornly planted like that? And so whatever comes your way, you're like, you know what? Must be within God's will, or He's got a plan He's going to work at the end or something, because God is good and He is powerful, and that is that. Doggone it. Okay. Number 4, we ask the Lord to redeem even the most messy or painful circumstances, and then eagerly watch for Him to bring about something beautiful, because He is masterful. I think, God is the creator of the universe, so He's a bit creative, wouldn't you say? And so I think He just almost just delights in these complex, impossible situations. And He's like, oh yes, I hope they pray. I hope they ask me to do something, because I have such a brilliant plan. It's going to be amazing. It's going to blow their minds. It might take like 10 years for me to weave it all together. Weaving this piece and that piece over here and this piece over here. And I'm weaving together this masterful plan. And we don't see it right away, so we're like, God, where are you? But He's like taking His time, weaving it all together. I can't tell you, even Squadron of Sisters, I never in my wildest dreams even thought of creating a Squadron of Sisters. Wasn't even a thought in the deepest part of my mind, right? God is busy, He knew this was going to happen before He created the earth, but I didn't see it coming at all. But now I look back and I see Him creating all these places for me to learn things that were perfectly in line for starting a Squadron of Sisters. For instance, I started doing this internet radio talk show, right, back in 2008. I get contacted by Mark Gungor. Some of you know who Mark Gungor is. He does this Laugh Your Way to a Better Marriage conference thing all across the country. He's very funny. And so he wants me to interview him on his book, and so I'm like interviewing him on his book, and then he calls me the next day and says, I'd like to hire you to host a radio show with me. I'm like, okay. And so, long story short, he hires me to do his own Mark Gungor radio show about marriage every single day for, it was like 2 years. Every single day, I was at my studio, he's in his studio, and by the miracle of the internet, it sounded like we were in the same studio, but we weren't. He was in Wisconsin. But anyway, so every day, I was having to look in the Bible and discuss marriage issues with him, and we get these crazy, wacky questions from listeners about marriage things, and so I'd be looking in the Bible to find out, what does the Bible say about this? I didn't know God was preparing me. No idea that that's what He was doing, and I was still just like, I couldn't believe that I got basically let go from a radio station I've been at 27 years, and I thought my life in trouble was over because my radio career was over, and so I'm just looking at that. And God's over here going like, this is going to be great, this is going to be great, I'm married her to something wonderful. I got her doing this thing with Mark Gungor, she's learning about marriage, and I'm going to have her do Squadron of Sisters, and I'm like, what is wrong? Where is God? Why did I leave the radio station? And He's just like doing something masterful. Do you get the hint? That in your life, these things that seem painful and messy and hard and even wrong, God's saying, asking me to redeem that. I have the most amazing plan for you. I could tell you so many redemption stories, but I don't have enough time. We'll save that for another time. And number 5, we keep rereading Bible passages about God's miracles and mighty power, and we also write down our own God sightings so that we can reread those from time to time as well. I call them God sightings. I forgot to bring it. I was going to bring my big old journal that I keep. I'm not perfect at keeping a journal. I'm not that good. But I periodically, like every couple of months, I go, oh my gosh, I haven't written anything in my journal. And I'll write down all the times that I can remember that God showed up, that He answered a prayer, that He did something spectacular, that He made something known to me, that He did something in my life that I could tell was orchestrated by God. I call that a God sighting, and I write them all down. And I'm telling you, nothing will build your faith more than going back and rereading what God has done in the past. And if you don't write it down, I can almost guarantee you, you'll forget it. You will forget it. But if you write it down, it doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be in a scrapbook form. It could just be like a scribbled note. God answered that prayer. We didn't have enough money to pay the rent, and I prayed, and then all of a sudden we had enough money, and you write that down. And then 2 years later, you're going through a hard thing, and you open up that journal and you go, oh yeah, what am I even worried about? God can do anything. Remember how he did that and that. This is what happens when you keep a journal. So I urge you to do that. And that's also why we reread the Bible over and over again. It's like, oh yeah,